Welcome, barbecue enthusiasts, to another smoking hot episode of the Smoking Hot Confessions BBQ podcast. I'm your host, Ben, and I'm thrilled to take you on a mouth-watering journey through the world of barbecue, grilling, and the vibrant culture that surrounds it. Recorded right here in the heart of the barbecue world, our podcast is your backstage pass to all things smoked and sizzling. We'll be chatting with top pit masters, grill masters, and foodies, giving you an exclusive peek behind the scenes of the barbecue universe. So whether you're a seasoned pitmaster or just fired up the grill for the first time, you're in the right place. The Smoking Hot Confessions BBQ podcast is your one-stop destination for flavor-packed stories, grilling tips, smoker secrets, and all things barbecue. So, grab a seat, fire up your smoker, and get ready to sink your teeth into the juiciest conversations, the boldest flavors, and the most unforgettable moments in the world of barbecue. Here's to the thrill of the grill and the magic of smoke and fire. Let's get started. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. It's been a minute, hasn't it? Now, some of you have reached out to me wondering what happened to the show. Is it all over? The answer is no, but I will take a second to fill you in on what's going on. The show is not over. I repeat, the show is not over. But there are two things I need to fill you in on. Firstly, my wife has started an online course, which means my recording studio has returned to its previous use as a home office. So until she's finished, our regular shows have been put on hold. Secondly, if I'm honest, I just needed a break. When the spicy flu first started in 2020, I doubled down on the show, switching to a weekly release. I released an episode a week for 2.5 years, all the while having a full-time job and running 3 businesses with my wife. And if you'll pardon the atrocious pun, I was burned out. Thus, the timing of my wife's course couldn't have been better as it afforded me a break. And here's a tip for those of you looking at building your own barbecue business. Sometimes it's possible to be so deep in what you're doing that you can't see it anymore. And the only way to get back in front of it is to step outside of it, take a break, then reflect on it. Only then will you be able to see a way forward. And so with my studio being repurposed, our latest podcast episodes have been limited to those I've been able to record live at barbecue festivals and competitions. And that brings you up to date. So let's get into today's ep. This ep was recorded live at the Emerald Barbecue and Beer Festival. I'd never been there before, so it was a really exciting experience for me to check out this corner of outback Queensland. Luckily, it was a direct flight from Brisbane to Emerald, making it a cinch for me to get there. On the car ride in from the airport, I learned that Emerald's a mining and cotton town, evidenced by the large machinery and loose wisps of cotton blowing along the side of the road. What followed was a fantastic weekend of competition barbecue, a classic small-town Australia festival, and featured live music from the always amazing Busby Maroo. It was a small festival, 10 teams tops, 2 of which were brand new, and only 1 had competed in an ABA-sanctioned event before. For me, it was incredibly nostalgic, taking me back to where I started in the competition barbecue scene myself. But that's enough about me. Let me take you now to the beautiful Emerald Barbecue and Beer Festival. Hey everybody, it's about 20 past 12 now on Saturday morning here at the Emerald Beer and Barbecue Fest. And the sun is out, there's not a cloud in the sky, and I'm sitting here now with Team 3 Bears and a Chainsaw. And their bio poster says their team motto is boats and hoes. Haven't seen either of them out here at Emerald. So I'm not quite sure where that comes from. Actually, no, I know where that comes from. That's a movie reference. But I've got Chris, Kieran and Bort. Gentlemen, how are you?
Oh, pretty good, mate. How are you?
Yeah. Good. Hey, tell me, how are you faring after last night?
Oh, tired.
Not great.
I didn't get a wink of sleep.
Struggling.
You were one of the teams that was still up at 3:30, were you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the other teams are a bit loud.
We didn't get to go to bed, so...
Righto. So it was other teams' fault. Even if you had been responsible, you still wouldn't have been able to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So it looks like this might be your first barbecue comp. Have I got that right?
I've been in one previously. I was in last year's meat stock in Melbourne.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's just where it started from.
Yeah.
And then I've just recently moved up here to Emerald. And where we work, we got a smoker, and I'm teaching the 2 boys how to smoke, and we decided to come in and join it just for a bit of fun.
Ah, righto. So tell me, how did you end up getting into Melbourne meat stock?
I worked one of the smokehouses in Melbourne, and yeah, we were invited there to go. And
Right.
that's it. Sorry?
Sorry, I just said, right,
Yeah.
So which smokehouse was that?
Red Gun Barbecue.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been there, but I have heard of it, yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you like meat stock?
Oh yeah, it was insane. It was great. It was fantastic. I loved it. I'd love to go again, like maybe Toowoomba one year.
Yeah. Well, they had their first one there last year. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I've been to Melbourne twice. It's a cracker.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
And was that your first ever barbecue
That was
competition?
my first. Yeah, that was my first one. Yeah.
So you jumped straight into one of the biggest ones in the country.
Yeah. Well, the place I worked before it went in it previous years, and then when I started with them, I wanted to be part of the team, and so we did it.
Oh, righto. So you were cooking barbecue before you were at Red Gum?
No, just at home. Just,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And how about you guys? Kieran and Bort, I take it?
Yeah, I just started when we started working where we are. Haven't done any competitions before. I just wanted to join and get experience and have some fun.
Mate, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Now, you were actually heading off to work when I first met you guys last night.
Yeah.
Whereabouts do you work?
The Maribyrn.
Okay, is that like a pub in town?
Yep.
Ah, okay. So you were all chefs, have I got that right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So you're not coming to this as, like, like it might be the team's first competition, but
Yeah.
you guys have got
Got a little bit of knowledge.
you've got it together.
Yeah, that's right.
I've done this once or twice.
Right. Yeah. Now, Bort, you were telling me that you actually cook barbecue at a resort, is that right?
What was it, sorry?
Last night, I don't know if you remember, you told me that you cooked barbecue at a resort.
No.
You don't remember telling me that?
No, I don't. No.
Okay.
Probably had a few beers last night.
I remember a resort fire. No.
Might have been a tall tale.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then tell me about the cooker that you got going there beside you. What do you got happening there right now?
So at the moment, we're at the offset, and that's what we've been cooking most of our stuff in, and just to do the low and slow. And then we got the kettle just to cook something a bit higher over coals, so we get that nice the char, and just a nice caramelised on the meats.
Ah, beautiful. Yeah. And how do you find your Hark Texas Pro Pit?
This is the first time I've used it. Kieran only brought it 2 weeks ago, like when we decided that.
Yeah.
I was thinking it did look brand new.
Yeah, it's got used once, and that was 2 weeks ago. The day after I bought it, I cooked some brisket in it. First time using it. So it's I had a smaller one, but it just wasn't the right size and was half smoker, half barbecue, so it just wasn't working for what I wanted. So I went and bought a bigger one, and I'm enjoying it.
Mate, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yep.
Get in there, give it a crack. And the different categories we got today, you got chicken, any cut, beef ribs, pork ribs, brisket, Brahman hump, and a mystery meat. What's that? Chicken, beef, pork, brisket, Brahman. 6 different categories, and you guys are doing all 6 today.
Yep.
And are you on 30-minute hand-in windows or 1 hour hand-in windows?
So it's I think it's 1 hour.
Okay.
Yeah. So first 2 meats are at 1, and then an hour after that for the rest.
Ah, okay. So what can you tell me about that mystery meat?
So it's lamb.
We got
lamb
ours late.
Saddle. So we got to set up late last night, so we didn't get handed our lamb until 9 o'clock this morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a little bit of a rush to get it all prepped in the smoker, but
I think we've
we
done
made
it.
do with what we got.
Yeah. It was a lamb saddle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's
And-
not pretty, but it'll get there.
Yeah.
What did you guys decide to do with it? Are you doing like a pulled lamb, or did you?
No, so we went about as it'd be a roast. So we deboned it, rolled it, and we pretty much just roasted it up.
Ah, very nice. That sounds good. I think the country judges will get on board with that.
Yeah.
Very cool. So what's your secret weapon for this competition? Like, are you chicken guns? Are you brisket kings?
It's more different flavours. So we took a step out of the traditional American barbecue or Australian barbecue, and we've taken more of an Asian kind of take on it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. What are you doing? Some like honey soy?
So we got fire spice and plum sauce ribs. We got fire spice, cola and rum brisket. Not brisket, beef rib.
Yep.
Just on those, and then just traditional for the brisket.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see how those pork ribs go. 5 spice and plum sauce. It's pretty bold. I dig it.
Yeah.
We knew we were going to be competing against
Some people that's had
some people
experience.
so we just thought we'd go outside the box just to stand out.
Yeah, love it. Love your work. Well, look, I'll leave you to it because you've got to start getting ready for the first hand in.
Yep.
But thanks very much for having a chat and best of luck with it.
All right, thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Hello again, everybody. It's now 12:30 on the Saturday afternoon here at this Emerald Barbecue and Beer Festival. And I'm talking to Rob from Ashton's Butchery, who's part of the Krusty Smokers barbecue team, whose team slogan is, "What? How the hell did that happen?" Rob, how are you this afternoon,
Yeah,
mate?
very well, Ben. Thanks.
So you're here with Krusty Smokers. Tell us, how did the team come together?
Well, I'm not really sure. These are the fellas from Emerald, and they're all mates, and they're very keen at barbecuing. I'm just one of the... I've brought the meat up from Pittsworth, where our shop is, and very keen at cooking. So I'm Derek, one of the teams. I'm the father-in-law, so that's how it happened.
Ah, right, okay. And so did you supply some of the meats for the
Yes.
for the teams here?
Yep.
Just for this team or for some of the other teams
No,
as
just
well?
for this team.
Ah, right.
That's our secret ingredients.
Yep. Now, I understand that you are one of the pioneers of the paddock to plate movement. You actually, not only are you a butcher, you're actually a landowner and a grazier, a farmer.
That's right, Ben. It was before any of this was ever come about with paddock to plate. We never even thought of it. It was just, I grew up on a farm and it was part of my upbringing, and I became a butcher and then always interested in farming, and that's how it came about. So we just love what we do. We got our cattle, fatten them. We've got our own abattoirs back into the shop. So that's how it works.
Right, so you've actually got like a closed loop then, if you've even got your own abattoir.
That's right, yep.
Wow, and what kind of cows are you raising?
We always try to stick to British bred cattle. We just think they're the softest, great temperament. We just like good, soft, tender meat. And they do well on the Darling Downs. That's what we do, and we sort of feed them both crop. So this time of the year it's oats, and we put a grain bin out in the paddock, so they got the best of both worlds. If things turn a bit dry, we've got grain there they'll eat more grain. If things are good like they are at present on the downs, the oats is pretty good. They're not eating much grain. It's just whatever they need, so they can graze and lie under a tree if they want to, or that's how it is.
Mate, that sounds like a great life, except for the last part, for the ending part.
We don't tell them what's at the end, but it is great there, and that's what it's all about. Is cattle that are fed well, but also at the same time they're stress-free.
How important is that to the quality of the final product?
Very important. Stress is one of the worst things out. So if you get cattle that come straight from the sale yards, they're stressed, they can be the best looking beef in the world. They won't kill out as good as if they come straight from the farm, processed. Then we age it for a few days, and that's how it's just.
So is that a chemical change in the meat then? Is it the flood of cortisone in the meat that sort of changes the flavour of it if they're stressed when they're processed?
Shouldn't be too much in the flavour, but yeah, it's the pH level in the beef. So if they're stressed, you get that dark cutter sort of thing, but we don't have that because they're just stress-free. And then when we age it, it starts to break down right from the first day to the last day, but we've got to be careful that we don't age it too long because it's got shelf life. Like the housewife will take it home in the fridge for a few days, so we've got to be conscious of that. So we process it at the abattoirs on, say, a Thursday. That comes in the shop on a Monday. We break it down and then start selling it. So that's how it is.
Yeah, interesting. That's interesting that the stress levels can actually affect the acidity in the meat.
It does.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. So it's a big thing.
Yeah.
It's probably more so than anything else.
And so the cows actually self-regulate what they eat. You don't sort of move them into a paddock and then give them X amount of grain and measure that out and make sure they all eat the grain, and it's just whatever they feel like, that's what they can have.
That's right.
Wow. And is that locally fed as well? Like, are you including local products and produce in that process?
All the grain is just a few kilometres away.
Really?
So that's how it is. And we mix our own grain and put it out in the paddock in self-feeders, and they can just help themselves then.
Nice. Now, you mentioned before that they're a British breed of cattle. I'd imagine that the weather, the climate is quite different between Britain and here on the Darling Downs. Like, this is the middle of winter, and look at it, it's incredible here
That's
today.
right. But on the Darling Downs, like the British bred cattle do well, like your Angus, Hereford, Shorthorn, Murray Greys, all those cattle do well, and then it doesn't hurt to have a bit of a cross with them. Say your Santa Hereford cross, very good cross. So, you know, any of those, Shorthorn is just underrated. It has nice marbling in it, but if you get a roan Hereford, it's just, you know, like your own Bawley, it's just beautiful beef. And they're always quiet. Angus is great beef, there's no doubt about it, but your Hereford, if you're hanging a Hereford with an Angus, you wouldn't know the difference really.
Okay.
If the skin's off it, you won't know the difference.
Right. Fascinating stuff.
But if you get some of the other breeds, I'm not going to knock any breed, you can get good breeds in any of the European breeds, like your Limousin's or your Charolais, but for us, we like a little bit of fat coverage, and that's what we get with the British bred cattle.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
That sounds really good. Do you do much Brahman stuff? I've noticed that Brahman is a category here at the competition this
It is
weekend.
up here in central Queensland, and that they do well up here. Down on the Downs, look, there's nothing wrong with the Brahman. If they're like the mothers are great, they're great milkers, and the calves do well. But we do find you can't get the weight into a Brahman that you do with the Herefords or Angus. They're a little bit shorter and not as long as some of the other breeds, but they're improving. There's no doubt about that. Over the years, they've improved a lot. So
For sure, yeah. Have you seen at the butcher end of that of that circle? Have you found a swing in customer demands? Like, are you now trimming more briskets than you were before? Are you doing more American-style cuts? Are you seeing any increased demand for picanha, things like that?
yes, we still do the basic cuts, and that's the biggest thing. But brisket, yes, a big increase in young fellas coming in wanting brisket to smoke. Once upon a time, all the brisket used to be rolled and corned. Now it's not so much. It's, cooked fresh. And it's great because young fellas are very keen on cooking, and that's what I like to see.
It is great to see a new generation coming through, isn't it?
That's right, even your ribs. We used to roll all our rib roasts. We still roll rib roasts, and they're a big seller. But now we're selling ribs on the bone, like your spare ribs. So it's good.
Yeah, must be nice to see more of the animal being used as well. So
That's
there's
right.
less of the, like I remember as a kid, the butcher would be trying to give us stuff, like all the offcuts. It's good to see all them being used and that animal really being, I guess, honoured is the word for
That's
it.
right. See, even your ox cheek, that was just nothing years ago. When I first started butchering, that was dog food.
Yeah.
Now you can trim it, take that bit of a membrane off it, put it out. It's probably one of the nicest bits of meat you can eat.
Mate, I tell you what, it's funny that you mentioned that. I just finished eating a beef cheek taco, cooked for me by one of the sponsors up there, and it was so good.
Yeah, it's just jelly. I couldn't believe it when it first came out. I said to my wife, I said, "They're eating beef cheek." I said, "Perhaps we should try some just to see what it's like." So I brought some home and we cooked it in the slow cooker. I thought, wow,
Yeah.
it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the dogs were onto something years ago.
Yes.
And so tell me, what do you like to cook for barbecue at home for yourself?
Look, to be honest, I love rump steak because it's got a rich flavour and it's always tender. But I find most fellows like rump, most women like rib fillet.
Okay.
It just stands out. But if you've got a nice piece of rump, I reckon it's as nice as you'll ever get. But you know, like, there's nothing like T-bone. Beautiful. Love T-bone.
Yep.
But I like it all, so...
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And so what do you cook on? Is that your Weber over there?
No, I usually just cook on a hot plate.
Yep.
Well, even a Weber. It used to be just an old hot plate, and we've got rid of that. I've got a Weber now, and it's it's just what you get used to. But I'm going to buy one of these smokers.
Yep.
Because I think they are good.
They are good. They are very good fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's just fashion, and it's great to see a whole lot of different ways of cooking.
It is, yeah. And I was just saying before, I was just announcing to the crowd all the different food vendors and things here, and there's so many different variations here today. It's not just barbecue. You've got barbecue and Thai, and there's a pizza place, and there's an Indian place, and
we have got a kettle barbecue at home, and we've often cooked a roast in that. And then when we take that out, the coals are still going, so we might stick in a sticky day pudding or something like that.
There you go.
So you can make use of those coals. So it turns out great.
It does, yeah. And you can always just close up all the vents on the barbecue, snuff that coal out, and then relight it again later.
That's right.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, all right, I need to go jump back up on the stage again, so thank you very much for your time, and enjoy the rest of the festival.
Thanks, Ben.
Hey folks, it's now 10 to 3 in the afternoon on Saturday here at the beautiful Emerald Barbecue and Beer Festival. I have had an absolute cracker of a day. I've done my first cooking demo. That was the stuffed chicken thighs you might have seen me do. They're up on the website, the recipe's there. Stuffed with feta, sun-dried tomatoes, seasoned with chives and parsley, wrapped in bacon, went down a treat. Everybody's loving it. But somebody who's been absolutely smashed today, run off his feet, is Zach from Full Belly Barbecue. Mate, you've managed to find a couple of minutes to have a bit of a breather, and now I'm hassling you for a podcast. Mate, thank you for coming on board.
Anytime, mate. It's a joy. It's good to be. It's a good day, good turnout, good show.
It is, yeah.
It's the first time for us. It's our second barbecue battle. The first one we done was absolutely huge, and this is panning out to be no different.
It is very big, isn't it?
It is. It's good to get people who don't know what they're doing, the people who do know what they're doing. And as us being a catering, smoking business, not a competition side, we envy the competition side, but they envy what we do. So it's two completely different ball games.
It is two different sides of the same coin, isn't it?
That's right, for sure.
Yeah. Now, are you a local? Like, are you an Emerald-based barbecue outfit?
No, we're from Townsville, but we can pretty much say we're based in Emerald at the moment. All our work is out around Emerald.
Really?
We've been at home, and it's the same thing. Everyone eats the same thing at the same markets, the same shows. You're there all the time. They only eat it so many times. When we're out here, we've got all the different options from all the mining towns. We run here, there, and everywhere in between. We've got here the gem fields, Capella. You've got all your footy games on the weekends and that. So we try to do here, there, and everywhere. And during the week, we do street trade in the little mining towns. So our goal is to do 2 or 3 nights during the week, and then what are the weekend events.
Wow. So what sort of kilometres are we talking between all those different events?
Well, the truck there you've seen, we've had for 4 weeks now, and it's 5 weeks now. We've got nearly 7,000 Ks on it.
And that's a big truck too. What's that, like an 8-tonner or something?
32.
32 tonne, okay.
So it's a 12-pallet cold room. The front half's blocked off for cold room, the back half's our home on wheels.
Really?
Yeah. So we've got
right.
king-size bed, we've got an air fryer, a microwave, a 50-inch TV in there, shower, everything but a shitter. I don't like playing with poo, so no toilet going in.
Fair enough. You can always dig a hole anyway.
That's right, plenty of trees.
Yeah. And so, like, do the kids live in the truck with you as well?
So my daughter, we've just pulled her out of school. She's starting Dis and Ed, staying on the road with me. My wife comes backwards and forwards to the bigger events. Staff's our biggest issue in having people who can actually do it. So we bring her out to the bigger ones, so we've got confident people in there. For example, my backpack's quit this morning. I've been on Emerald Facebook page all morning trying to find 2. I found 2 Frenchies, I think they are. I've been going a couple of hours, they're going great.
Sorry, you had 2 people quit just last night?
This morning. I told them to be here at 9 and they quit at 20 to 9.
What?
So, plus we had an incident in the truck. We broke a door handle on the truck and the missus threw a crowbar up to me, and as you see my hand.
It's got a big split on the back of your hand
the
there.
size of a football, and so it's tempting. So, joys of business, mate. I'm sure ones who are in our position knows what it's like and how hard it is to get good staff.
So, like, how... My mind is just boggled that they would quit at 20 to 9, like, on the job day. Like, is that a common thing? Is that a problem that you regularly have?
I don't want to tarnish them all, but the ones we've had, the 3 groups we've had now, 3 couples, they all claim the fame. They want to work, they want to do this, want to do that. They get here and, look, when we're busy, we're bloody busy, don't get me wrong. But the rest of the time you're standing and you're cleaning benches, you're doing this, you're doing that. It's nothing hard. But when we're busy, you're getting pumped. whether you're doing hospitality, welding, mining, whatever, when you're busy, you're on the pump. The rest of the time, for us, you're sitting around literally scratching your balls. Like, you're waiting for customers to come. Once the benches are clean and that, there's nothing to do. At the start of when we get to something like we got here on Wednesday, we set up and we done a big cook Wednesday to suit the weekend. And we yesterday we done the VIP and not the VIP, the
crew dinners,
yeah, the sponsors and all that. So they worked yesterday morning for 4 hours. We vac sealed all the meat we cooked the day before.
Yep.
We cooked up all our loaded, so that's bacon, cuts and onion, and vac sealed all that. Come back at 4 and they worked till 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
So,
right.
Well, we done 59 meals, 59 serves last night, so we can do that in 25 minutes. We've done it over 2 hours.
Yeah,
So that's a gist of how busy it is when you're doing stuff like that.
Yeah, and if they're getting paid by the hour, then it's not like they're working for commission, so...
That's right. Look, I can be an arsehole, I'm not going to say I'm not. End of the day, though, it's a business. Whether you can try and make it as fun as possible as you like, but it's still a business. You've still got to crack on. We're not a big business, we're only new. I'm still learning, my wife's still learning. It's something completely different. I'm 10 years mining and went back to my trade for a few months and still hated that. And I got married and that's my honeymoon.
Now, your wife did start to mention this to me last night. I understand that you took the money for the honeymoon and you bought a trailer smoker with it. How did that go down?
What's the old saying? It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Oh, mate, I would be a dead man. You're much braver than I am.
Look, I've wanted to buy a digger and a truck for years and years and years, but everywhere you look, there's a digger and a truck. So you're going into a, not dead end, I guess you'd call it, but there's too much competition. And
saturated market, yeah.
Like you look at here, there's another vendor here who does very similar but completely different. There's no one here who has a smoker sitting on a trailer. That's unfortunate, that's what we do. So our selling point is we got a smoker in the trailer. Whether we cook in an oven 400 k's away, we cook it here, no one knows the difference.
Yeah.
They're seeing it coming out of the smoke and they're loving it. And it is all cooked in there, don't get me wrong, but it's just that the general human nature is, that's what it is. And that's what 100% what they're getting.
Yep.
So.
Well, we follow our noses too, don't we? So you're actually here, you're burning the wood, you're putting the smoke in the air. Like I can smell your briskets from a mile away. It smells so good. And the lineup of people that you've had there for the last 2 or 3 hours for the lunch run has just been really impressive.
Well, we've already sold our beef ribs. I'm cooking the wings tonight for the eating contest. I've got no wings left, so I'm trying to get these on pumped out so I can put more wings on for tonight. So the trucks, the money we spent on the truck, we meant to buy a new smoker with, but our first trip we did out here was 7 weeks and we spent a small part of a fortune on accommodation for 7 weeks. So we had the money put away to buy a new smoker, but because of the amount of money we spent on accommodation, it was better off buying a truck to start with.
Yep.
Actually, I'm running 2 this weekend. I've hired one from a fella in Blackwater.
Yep.
So it's still not enough. But you can only do what you can do. That's what people don't understand. The public is, other than got ovens and they'll cook it fresh. It's all there. What we've got is that's all the room we've got.
Yeah.
That's our biggest issue. So you can have one in a 20-foot container where you can hold it all, but then you don't sell it all.
That's it. That's the gamble, isn't it?
And you're always guessing. You're never going to know for sure.
Yeah.
So, but you can go to some events, similar kind of events, and you can sell everything in a couple of hours, or you can come to this event and drag it over 5 or 6 hours. It's every crowd's different. There's no two are the same. Like you get your rodeos is our goal next year. Is what we're going to focus on. You kind of get your lunchtime rush, which is, it's busy, but it's not busy. But then dinner, you get absolutely pumped. Then you can chill out till all the drunks are heading home, and you feed them on the way out. Yeah,
so you get them 3 times in the one festival.
That's always the way. It's always a bonus.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now I did have to ask. I did see that the smoker on the big trailer there, that is a Bullockhead Creek. That's from Brisbane. I know Craig pretty well. Is that the one that you were just saying was the rental, or is that the one that
no, the big trailer,
that's yours?
That's my one.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Bullockhead Creek. It's, to be honest, my first offset. So how this business began was we got married. We had a shotgun wedding from day of talking about getting married was 9 days. We kind of had
you don't muck around.
We had family issues, and I won't go into it. But we had family issues, and we had 9 days while our young fellow was still in good health to get it done.
Gotcha.
So we tried to hire a big smoker from home. Never used a big one before, or saw the calibre of what it was, and it was just too hard. So we tried to get someone to cater it, and they pulled out 2 days before. So I ran up all the boys. We had 7 traggers running. We done wings and roasts and spuds, everything on the traggers, and it kind of lit a fire to everyone enjoyed it, and a lot of people did tell me, you got to do something with this, you got to make something of it. So when I brought this, and we got it home from Brisbane and lit her up, and thought, we'll cook ribs on it tonight. You do ribs in a couple of hours in the Traeger.
Yeah.
Took me a couple of hours to get the bloody thing warm.
Well, it's a much larger cooking unit to have to get up the temperature.
Once again, it was all... The first few months of running the business, we cooked all our briskets and that on the Traeger because we couldn't figure... Every time we'd light it, we'd have a fire. Trying to find out how to set all your adjuster plates and whatnot underneath it.
Ah, right.
So it took a lot of backflips and 180s, and Barbecue Bros and Cairns, old rider, he's been my absolute Bible. Every issue I've had, I've rang him. So he kind of pushed me into it. He had a lot to do with it, but every issue I've had has been, whether it's 10 o'clock of the day or midnight, what do I do here? So he's been absolutely great.
Oh, mate, that's good that you got a mentor like that. That's what I love about the barbecue scene. There's always people there to help out, always people to guide you. That's one of the things that I did here last night was I went around, I spoke to some of the barbecue teams. Some of them were brand new, just gave them some pointers and some tips and sort of helped them on their way, and that's what it's all about.
So I remember our first night markets. We went in there, we had 2 whole briskets, I think we had 6 or 8 collar butts. We had 14 or 15 kilos of ribs. Fuck, we're baller here. We've got never going to sell all this, and we had it was windy as all hell. We had bulk fire issues, still trying to learn the smoker. So we're doing tickets at the time. The tickets are blowing away everywhere, so we had no idea. It was just, It was just absolute unorganised chaos. And we still sold out in an hour and 20 minutes, and even with all the no idea what we're doing and whatnot. But we've grown. By far, we're not experts. There's a lot more people, a lot more experience than we've got. But we're getting there. It's something different. It's enjoyable. You get to talk to different people and meet different lives of people and whatnot. It's just a whole new ballgame compared to what my whole life of working has been.
Yeah, well, look, man, that's absolutely great to hear. I mean, it's very brave to leave the mines to get into barbecue. They do say that, you know, to make $1 million in barbecue, you need to start with $2 million. But things are obviously going really well for you. So, as you said, you've upgraded your truck a couple of times in the last couple of months, and now you've got this big giant one here, and you've got all this work lined up for the next couple of months. You're able to do it with your family, which is fantastic. So, mate, well done. I can see that the line's starting to queue up again over there, and your offsiders are kind of casting some glances over here at us, sort of resting in the shade, having a podcast. So, mate, I'm going to say thanks very much for your time and enjoy the rest of the festival.
Definitely, thank you.
Hey folks, we're now at 3:15 here in the afternoon. The sun is setting in the west. Well, it's starting to set. It's still very bright, still very nice and warm. It is absolutely been a cracking day. And I'm here right now with Rub for Your Pleasure. I've got Brad, Jeff Anna and Jason. So, Jeff Anna, you might want to clear up that name first, maybe?
So my real name is Brianna, but one of the other members in the team is Jeff, and he wasn't able to be here for the whole of today, so I kind of stepped in for him on the second day, but he came last night and helped prep all the food and everything.
Yeah, right, I see. So it's a bit of a shared shirt, shared name situation. Gotcha. Now, Brad, you're the team captain, I gather?
I've been nominated team captain, that's correct, yes.
Oh, okay, so you were told that you were the team captain.
It all started, 2019, wasn't it? When the last time they had a barbecue competition here, or a low and slow comp, and we decided to put a team together. We just not long bought all our smokers and thought this would be a bit of fun. We entered in there and we came away with 2 third places in that competition. So we had third for our pork and third for our brisket. We've been champing at the bit, waiting for another a local one to come around.
Yep.
Because all 4 of us in the main team have basically got a vast variety of jobs. So trying to time each other in with it to fit in a local comp's really good. Except for Dan Lauder over there. Dan's come up from Harvey Bay, isn't it, Dan? Or Chinchilla, sorry. Close to Harvey Bay. Yeah, inland Harvey Bay of Queensland.
Yep.
And so we've get together at our local comps and give it a crack and see how we go.
Yeah, beautiful, yeah. And so you've done that first one of these comps here. Is this your second ever comp, or is this
like your second ever comp? We've been waiting through COVID and waiting for it to get up and running again, so that we can test our skills and see if we've improved.
Yeah. So did you get lots of practice in during all that downtime?
Well, over that downtime, we had one comp that looked like it was going to come up. It's a real difference to us being home barbecuers mainly to doing it comp style where you sort of have to push a lot of cuts to the side and just use the good bits for your competition, and so it's definitely a challenge to step out of home barbecuing and into a comp.
It absolutely is,
situation.
Yeah, just the coordination of it all. Like you got six different hand-ins here today. Are you guys doing all six?
Yes, yeah. So I've started getting the others to walk the hand-ins in because I can hardly walk anymore.
Ah, right.
I'm just about buggered.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the big competitions I go to, they'll actually do the hand-ins in pairs, and one will walk in front as a blocker to get people through the crowd so that nobody trips over holding the box of food.
Well, yeah, we're hoping that doesn't happen. You get a bit nervous.
Just a little bit, yeah.
The wife actually gave us a carry thing there that you can sort of strap the box into and then carry it. Helps keep it warm, but also helps accidental drops.
I had to carry our beef ribs up in that before because they were so big the lid wouldn't close.
Oh, right.
So I was like, that'll hold it down until we get there.
Yeah. I think I know who makes them. Is that Cassie Strohmeyer? Did you get them from her?
I think so.
The box warmer?
Maybe,
It could be, but that's the wife's little thing that she handed us today, so not sure where she got it from.
Yeah, because I had Cassie on the show maybe a year ago, and we were talking about the box warmers that she makes and sells them at all the competitions and things like that. So, just wondering if you might have picked them up from
Is
her.
that not Cassie from Smoke on the Water?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. The naughty nurse.
I don't know her in that capacity.
As she calls herself.
I've got nothing to do with any of that.
The last competition we had here, there was a bit of a dress-up thing, and she is actually a nurse, but she had a nurse's outfit on and was calling herself the naughty nurse.
Okay.
As she was handing her hand-ins in.
Oh, fair enough.
So yeah, it's the good thing about these local comps is everyone has a good time.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of tongue in cheek.
Yeah. And I'd imagine there'd be some bit of bragging and whatnot in the pub for the next couple of weeks afterwards too.
Oh yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. And I've actually done a few of Cassie's classes, and I keep in touch with Cassie a little bit.
Oh, there you go. Small world, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't think that's one of hers, but I think it's the same style.
Same
I think
idea,
she's actually
yeah.
improved on the one we've got there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hers is more of a thermal, like keeps it. Ours is more of a safety carry thing than anything. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. So, do you all have like a background in food? How did you come to competition barbecue?
Yep, we've all been eating all of our lives. But we've all got varying jobs. I'm a police officer. Jason's a plumber. And we've got company reps. We've got an auto electrician. Jason might tell you a little bit of his background, but he's had a little bit previous life as a chef.
That's right. You were telling me last night you're a classically trained French chef.
A long time ago. Previous life. Yeah.
Have you heard of Tuffy Stone?
No.
You need to look him up. He's an absolutely prolific competition barbecuer, huge success.
Yep.
And he is also a classically trained French chef.
Yep.
And I could tell just watching you like prepping the chicken yesterday. I went, this is a gentleman who's got some skills. He's had some training. And Tuffy's the same. He's absolutely precise in everything he does. So, how much of that do you bring into barbecue?
It's a completely different discipline. I do struggle with you normally cook to weight, to temperature, to time, and this is just a completely different discipline. As I was saying to Brad, you can't quite grasp it yet. So it's wonderful. But yeah, it's a different discipline. It's the skills and the prep work and the knife work very similar. Flavours are very, very robust. But yeah, it is different. It is completely different from being a chef per se. It's but yeah, good fun. There's a curiosity for me more than anything else. So. I am being guided. I sometimes look for direction, but it's probably me looking the other way, saying, "What do I do now? What do I do now?" So, but it's a bunch of fun. It's a bunch of fun.
Yeah, cool. Now, so I couldn't help but notice last night, as the French trained chef, you've probably got I think it's fair to say, the sharpest skills, but yet you still ended up being the one that got the bloody bung job of scraping the chicken skins. How did that happen?
There's hierarchy in all kitchens.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you should have been at the top and you had the bottom job.
Well, you have to lead from the back sometimes, so it's it's fine. It's the guys, Brad, the guys probably more well versed in this particular discipline than me, so I'm happy still learning, watching, and just helping where I can and offering a bit of suggestions and whatever. So I wouldn't say it's I'm a we're not going to blitz it just because I'm in the team, that's for sure. So it's.
I reckon you got a much better chance though.
Yeah, it's good fun, and here it's not a extremely intense competition. It's still a bunch of fun. I think everyone's pretty lax.
Yeah, 100%.
There's a friendly competitiveness. It's everyone sort of would like to win, obviously, but they're friendly about it too. So it's,
that's great, isn't it? So you've had your 3 turn-ins already. You've had chicken, pork ribs, and beef ribs. How you all feeling about them?
Happy with the hand-ins.
Yeah.
I think the only thing was the size of the hand-in box to fit the ribs into. We did talk to the organisers, and there was going to be a little bit of leniency advice to the judges from the point of view of they were the only boxes they could get, and they were a little bit smaller than I think what the normal hand-in boxes are.
Okay, yeah.
So trying to fit 6 beef ribs, and they weren't the biggest beef ribs that we've ever cooked, but trying to fit 6 of them with the bone on in the box was definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Just strap it up with some electrical tape. And...
We used our fancy carry-all. And it's got Velcro strapping on the top. So
there you go.
We'll always get it in there so no one can still see it.
Yeah.
And then that was accepted, so hopefully the judges don't pull us apart too much for that, but yeah.
Nice. So is it fair to say then that beef ribs is sort of your forte, or do you have
Brisket.
a particular preferred protein, or?
Brisket.
Yeah, probably brisket. And I've actually been happy with our pork ribs this round.
Okay, yeah.
I've done a lot of online study of lots of different people and what they do, but this time I tried layering the rubs to try and add some sweet rubs with some more savoury rubs, and that the flavour of that seems to have come off not too bad.
Oh, fantastic.
So yeah, happy with the hand-ins so far. We'll just obviously wait and see if the judges liked it, I suppose.
That's it, isn't it?
It's all good fun. That's the main thing. We're having a good time.
Yeah, so good, fellas, so good. And lady, listen, I've got to get going because I need to go jump on that stage, have a quick shout out on the microphone, and then do a cooking demonstration of my own. So I'm going to say best of luck for the rest of the competition.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on board the show.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it has just rolled past 5 p.m. Final hand-in has just been done. We're on the countdown to the awards, and I'm chatting with Hey What's Really Smoking, and we've got Jordan, Stacey. I've got 3 of the 4 of you. Sorry, so Jordan.
Yes.
And Stacey and Tara. Okay, folks, you're a first-time competitive team, as I understand it. How have you enjoyed the weekend?
I think it's been fantastic. I think we've been waiting for this for a long time. Especially Stacey and I tried planning this 3 years ago, and as soon as it come along, Stacey messaged me and said, "Are we in?" And I said, "Yep, let's do it." And ever since then, it's been non-stop. Yeah, commitment.
Have you competed in other competitions before?
No, this is our first.
Oh, this is like not just the first time here, the first competition ever.
And this is our first time we've all been together in the one location cooking at the same time.
So you haven't even practiced cook together?
No.
Wow.
Practice cooked individually with our families, cooking for our family dinners, and this is our first day cooking all together.
Yeah, yesterday was the first day that Jordan met Jade.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's funny because I would have actually thought you were brothers.
Yeah. And I think that's the best part about this dynamic is we all just clicked.
Yeah.
As soon as we all got together, especially as soon as Jade came in, it was just fantastic. He just like one of the family.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, so you're saying that he's like a brother?
Yeah, 100%.
Now, your little team information blurb at the front there says Jordan and Stacey bonded over their love of smoking and cooking. So, is that what brought you together? Was it barbecue that sort of created the couple?
Oh, these guys used to come in 10 times a day to our coffee shop and buy coffee and lamb's fry and bacon.
And Mars bar cheesecake.
And that's how the friendship grew, and then the smoking connection, and
Oh, great stuff.
Yeah.
Great stuff. And it looks like you had a crack at all the categories: chicken, beef ribs, pork ribs, brisket, Brahman hump, and the mystery meat. So you didn't just dip your toe in the water, you jumped right in.
We dove right in.
A six-hand-in comp is a big comp.
I think definitely we all sat down and thought about it, and I remember sitting down at the table at our house. Stace brought the family around, and we sat there and we were like, what are we going to do? And we said, well, why not? You know, we're here, we paid our entry fee, let's do it. And we were like, yep. So we did.
Fair enough. And so in the different practices that you've been doing individually at home and that, did you divide up the proteins and say, okay, so you're going to be lamb, you're going to be chicken, you're going to be beef rib? Did you organise it like that, or just everyone had a crack at everything?
We were the chicken and the mystery meat, us girls, and Jordan was the meat.
Ah,
the red meat and the pork.
So I suppose I smoke quite regularly for home. You know, when I bought my smoker, I bought it to use.
Yep.
So every week I have a play with it, and I've got my fair handle on briskets, ribs and stuff like that, because the kids ask for it and they want to eat it. I've got no idea about chicken and anything like that, where these two girls, they know everything, and today
what
was
we don't know, we'll make up.
Today was the proof in the pudding. They stepped up and they've just done a fantastic job. Where I was panicking even about the meats I was responsible for, these girls stepped up and calmed me down and helped me out in every sense, and I think it was just fantastic.
Excellent. That's fantastic. So how do you feel has been your strongest hand in today? Like something you just went, we nailed that.
Well, I feel like the two meats that I was involved heavily in, the mystery meat and the chicken, I felt like we really nailed it. Stacey and I worked together the last night, went through what we were doing. You came through and gave us some advice on what could work. We tried that out. You know, we've developed our skills constantly, and hopefully we'll continue to do that. I'm not sure what Jordan would feel his best was, but today I've never had a Brahman hump until today, so that was great to try. Was different than I was expecting, but really good. Yeah.
And which set of chicken did you go with? The ones that I gave you advice on, or the ones that you were doing it before?
Yeah, the ones that you told us to cut the knuckles
Oh, that's good. Whew.
Yeah. So we ended up
Would have
cutting...
been embarrassing if you said, no, we decided you were full of crap.
When you did come back and try and talk to us as we were getting something ready, I was like, don't tell me the box is wrong as well. But it was fine. You were full
when you
of
were
great advice.
prepping the kale.
Yes.
Prepping the kale, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about kale. I'm no help when it comes to kale.
Yeah. No, it was fantastic, and thank you very much for your help.
Yeah, no worries. What are you most worried about from the judges? Is there a particular hand in you went,
I'll be honest with you. I had my handle on beef ribs. I cooked my beef ribs. I pulled them out, and when I literally pulled them out of the smoker, one of the bones fell out on my foot. And I've just gone, oh my God, I have destroyed this for my team. And my heart sunk. Brought it over here. We let it rest, we pulled it out, we cut it up, and Stace stepped up to the plate and said, let's cut it up like this, let's do it like this. And
we didn't serve it with the bone.
And we didn't serve it with the bone. It was a different strategy I never thought about, and it just turned us all around. Got the mood back up for myself, and it was just fantastic, I believe. And different way, don't know how it went, but we tasted it and we thought it was delicious, but like I said, it was a different way of looking at it.
Yep.
So yeah, and that's the best part about having a team and everyone's input is just, they have a different perspective on things. So,
Yeah. Well, look, the bones fall out of beef ribs, not a big problem. Bones fall out of pork ribs, big problem. So
Okay, that's good to know.
sounds like you got it right there.
Yeah, no, it's good to hear.
Yeah, that's actually how I prefer to serve them up when I'm competing.
Oh,
So I
excellent.
will actually remove them from the bone and then make them look like brisket slices, and then send them in that way.
Yep,
So,
that's what we did.
That's what we did, yeah.
really nice. Good work.
That's excellent.
Well, look, I've got to go jump back on stage now and wrangle these kids for the ice cream eating contest. So I'm going to say thanks very much for coming on board the show and best of luck come awards time.
Thanks
Amazing.
for coming
No
to
worries.
Emerald.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right, folks, it is 4:30 in the afternoon. The sun is high on the yard arm. The Emerald Barbecue Festival is not even halfway through. And I've got Bob, what's your title, Bob?
Today I'm the head judge of the barbecue cooking competition, yeah.
Head judge of the barbecue competition here at Emerald Barbecue Festival. So, mate, tell me about yourself. What's your barbecue background?
Just a general backyard hack, I guess. Been barbecuing most of my adult life. I've got a smoker, transitioned from gas to smoke in the last few years and loved it every part of the way. Obviously, the American influence in Australia now is pretty strong, so that's been a big thing. And the scene in Australia is growing. It's amazing.
It is, yeah, and I'm really happy to hear that you've seen the light and you've moved from gas to wood-based products. Now, not that there's anything wrong with gas. I've just been doing cooking demos today on gas, but it's just not the same.
No, it's not the same. No, it's been a conversion. I started with pellets, and now I've gone to my first bullet. So I'm learning the craft of using a bullet, and it's definitely different. But it's I think there's definitely a lot more skill base there with managing temperature and stuff like that. So it's good to learn more aspects of the techniques with the barbecuing.
Yeah. Now, pellet smokers are quite divisive in themselves. What sort of made you move from the pellet onto the bullet?
I guess I just wanted a challenge. So there's a bit of a stigma with pellets in the industry. So some people think it's not real cooking. So I really wanted to challenge myself and learn how to use a bullet smoker. You know, setting the valves and gates and making sure that the flow's right. And it is a bit of a challenge, but it's good to learn. And I think it's just makes you a better rounded cook.
Yeah. And so, are you on a Fornetto or a Weber or a?
Yeah, just a basic Weber. I think everyone starts at a little Weber, and it's a starting point. But yeah, they're very easy to use. They're good fun.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and very versatile too.
They are, yeah, and it's good the different methods that you learn. You know, the snake method, or if you want to go really hot and fast and a bit more direct cooking. So yeah, there's versatility with them, which is exciting.
So when you say the snake method, are you cooking on a Weber kettle or a Weber Smoky Mountain?
So it's just the. I'm not a great explaining this, but it's just basically, it's like a kettle. I'm sure it's the kettle, yeah, and you just sort of fill up the bottom with charcoal and put your wood on for the smoke.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Is it up on legs?
Three legs. It's like a tripod sort of thing, little basic one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wheels on two of the legs?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a kettle.
Kettle.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
We got there.
Oh, mate, there's nothing that you can't do on a kettle.
No, very good starting point. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, it's a great one.
Mate, that's where I started in competition barbecue. I was telling some of these new teams here last night that's how I got into it. The first ever competition I did was with 2 Weber kettles I'd rescued off the side of the road.
Yep.
And a little bullet smoker that I'd purchased when my mother-in-law came to visit from the States.
Awesome, yeah.
So that's how I got started, and I know people, have you heard of Harry Sue?
Yes, yeah.
So he actually has a Weber Smoky Mountain.
Yep.
And he just carries that in the back of his van, and he turns up and he absolutely destroys all these big-time competitors that roll up with these giant smokers and their trailers and all that sort of stuff. And
it is amazing.
He's really impressive.
Yeah, it's a fantastic scene, the barbecue comp. You don't have to have the flashiest of equipment to be competitive if you're into that stuff. Yeah, it's the skill set of the cook is definitely paramount.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, you have put together the judging side of things here for this festival.
Yep.
Tell us how it works here today.
Yeah, so basically we've been allocated some judges through sponsors and stuff like that. So basically I take them through an induction. So basically to be a barbecue judge, there's like 3 main elements of what you're looking for. So the first element is you want to look at the appearance. So when we present them the box, we open it up, they have a look at the box. So it's score out of 10. The next one is around taste and texture. So they obviously get to enjoy eating the meals here. So they want to make sure it's not chewy or hard or any sort of bits of fat in there. But basically, it's a score out of 30 for each box. And the judges, it's around appearance, texture and taste. And they're going well, they're loving it. I think the meat sweats are definitely a real thing at the moment. Some of them are starting to struggle and we're just sort of hit the halfway point. So it is hard being a judge because you do have to eat a lot of meat, but they're getting through it somehow.
Yeah. We were just discussing off mic about how it's about to get real tough for the judges because they're going to round out the last 3 categories.
Yep.
Are about to be Brahman hump.
Yes.
Sorry, no, they've just done beef rib.
Yep.
They're followed by Brahman hump.
Yep.
And then they're going to finish up with brisket.
Brisket.
The judges are about to really get hit with all the rich stuff.
Mate, they've definitely made, it's a very heavy finish, but they're hanging in there. They're enjoying it. They've really enthused about participating in this event, and the scorings has been really high quality. There's some really good teams here at this event, and it's great to see. And it's very widespread, the scores across all the teams, so everyone's performing really well. So it's a really great competition.
Interesting. So you're telling me that so far it looks like it's going to be close come awards time at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, definitely. At the moment, even for the Grand Championship, we're looking at there's a spread of 3 teams within 15 points of each other, so anything can change over the last couple of rounds. So it's amazing, and all different teams have stood up through different categories, so everyone's really having a flying their own flag across the categories, which is great. So it's really impressive to see the effort. Nice.
Now you also wrote the judge training booklet, didn't you?
Yeah, so the judge training book's a bit of a, it's basically a PowerPoint presentation, just to give the judges a bit of a guide and overview of what they're expected to do. So there's they do have a lot of responsibility to be consistent, and sometimes if you don't have those sort of rules in place, things can get a bit skew, so to speak. So really emphasise, when they judge a box, if it was a genuine 10 for them that time, the next box, if it blows them off their feet, they don't have to go back and change the scores because they're still both 10s, and just really showing them those sort of ways and just sort of educating them that, the people here that have spent a lot of money to be here, buying all the meat and stuff, and we really don't want to be lowballing that effort. They've been here 24 hours cooking, it's a big event for these teams, so really let them know the journey that the cooks have been on and really try to help them, let's give some pretty fair and constructive scores to teams. And so far, I really haven't seen really too many low scores. Everything's really been a high quality, and I think it's credit to all the cooks that are here this weekend.
Beautiful, yeah. How receptive have the local judges been to the American style of cooking brisket? Because I'd imagine that a lot of them would have grown up with grandma's brisket that was rolled and boiled in a pot. So how have they responded to that training?
Yeah, it's good. We definitely go into, there's a lot of different techniques. So you've got the very traditional cooks that love just salt and pepper and stuff like that, which I think I'm a bit of a fan of personally. But then you've got a lot of these different spices now, and just talking to one of the teams, they were showing me a raspberry chipotle sauce. I've never heard of it, but it was actually quite nice. I'd never be brave enough to put that on anything, but it's really diverse, some of these flavours. So we do let the teams know that. So that's a danger for... it's a danger for some of the teams where judges might not be really used to that sort of dramatic taste. They're more traditional, but some of those untraditional flavours have been a hit here. So it's good. People's taste for different styles is really, really good here.
Oh, that's fantastic stuff, mate. Yeah. Nice. So have you judged at other barbecue competitions? Is that where you got this knowledge to bring to set up the judging for this competition? Yeah, so I've done a lot of ABA events around the region. Okay. So, and I got sort of hooked on that. Yeah, it was really an interesting concept to be doing, and what I found by doing those ABA events, that actually a lot of barbecue teams would enter to be judges as well, so they could see on the other side what sort of went on. They were trying to learn what to get that competitive edge. So it was really interesting, but the stringency that they have is second to none. They're very well run events. The education's great, and I think they've even took it up another level now. You have to pay for the privilege to be a judge now and go through their training and induction process, which is great. It's a fantastic organisation. So I enjoy going to a couple of those events here and there when I can. Yeah, nice. So so you've got a really well-grounded background then in both the judging and the actual cooking side of things as well. I got a feel for it. I don't know if I could do a comp as a cook. I think there's a little bit of stress there. I think it's tough. It's backyard cooking so
carefree, stress-free. It's fun with your mates and family, and I think sometimes competition can change that for people with things they can do with their eyes closed that puts the pressure on. But I think a lot of these teams have put in an amazing effort with that sort of pressure, and a big crowd walking around, looking at them, watching what they're doing. It's tough, but I think they've excelled. I'm really proud of them all.
I reckon you're right, mate. I reckon you are. Now, I've just had an idea based on what you just said to me. Here's what I want to see for next year's competition. I want to see you train up a replacement for yourself, and you're going to enter a competition team next year.
Oh my goodness, there's a fair challenge there. Well, we never know. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, maybe just one cut and I'll specialise on it and chuck all my eggs in one basket. But yeah, I'd love to try it. It'd be good to say and tick the box, wouldn't it? Just to say, yeah, I've done that, and yeah.
It would for sure, yeah.
Yep. No, I love it.
Thanks very much for your time. I know you need to get back in there and start getting the judges ready for the next hand-in.
Appreciate it.
So I appreciate you coming on board the show, and thanks for all the work you've done for the Emerald Barbecue and Beer Festival.
Appreciate it, and thank you for communicating such a great local event to your listeners. Really appreciate it. Cheers.
That brings us to the end of another sizzling episode of the Smoking Hot Confessions Barbecue Podcast. We hope you've enjoyed this flavourful journey through the world of barbecue, grilling and all things smoked and sizzling at the beautiful Emerald Barbecue and Beer Festival. Before we wrap up, don't forget to subscribe, rate and leave us a smoking hot review. Your feedback keeps the fires burning and helps us bring you more mouth-watering content. Stay connected with us on social media to catch behind-the-scenes sneak peeks and updates on upcoming episodes. You can join us at the Smoking Hot Confessions Barbecue Community Group on Facebook. And remember, whether you're a seasoned pitmaster or just getting started, keep those fires stoked, those grills hot, and those flavours unforgettable. Until next time, here's to the magic of smoke and fire. Keep those confessions smoking hot.